Through this Thanksgiving service, the church has enabled you as discipline services to collaborate in making it easy for citizens to access policing services. You have created the momentum, and now it is time to do even better. The role of the faith communities cannot be overstated. It is the conscience of the state and this partnership in service delivery that will bring forth one nation where everybody lives in harmony. The work you are doing is not compensable. I encourage you to perform your duties with commitment, dedication, honesty, integrity, and patriotism. The Kenya Kwanza government is seized of the impediments that you face in your work, the inadequate housing, logistical and operational challenges, and the ever-changing crime trends. The theme that you are reflecting on today in this service, and I quote, "Do not fear, for I am with you," Isaiah 41, verse 10, remains relevant not only to you as disciplined officers, but also for all Kenyans. Indeed, the country is in need of a renewed spirit of unity and assurance, which is a pointer to reconciliation and healing. We strongly believe that the church will continue to play its role in uniting Kenyans through the Word of God and in its various socio-economic programs across the country. I wish to emphasize that the institutional and organizational reforms going on will not be achievable if the people are not united and working for a common goal. The future holds great promise for this country if we embrace unity and work as a team to achieve the envisaged reforms. I therefore call upon our partners, stakeholders, and all Kenyans of goodwill to dedicate themselves to the reforms and the provision of quality service for the country to realize faster economic growth and eventual enjoyment of higher standards of living for all Kenyans. Finally, I commend the church for its efforts in ensuring the disciplined officers and their families are catered for spiritually by according spiritual personnel into the services chaplaincy. The role of the chaplaincy in the discipline services is critical in addressing the spiritual and psychosocial welfare of the officers. I take this opportunity to thank His Grace, Philip Anyolo, the Archbishop of the Nairobi Metropolitan See, for his unreserved and dedicated pastoral service to the discipline services since 1998 and for accepting to minister in this great celebration. I wish him God's blessings as he endeavors to serve his flock. Thank you, and God bless you. Your Grace, this is all very serious stuff. Maybe I speak on a lighter note. You know, sometimes I like speaking a bit naturally. When the president asked me to come and represent him here, I was very excited because he told me it's a service for our uniformed officers among our disciplined forces and their families. I am very attached to the family as a person. If you remember, during our inauguration speech at Kasarani, I did tell the people of Kenya to take care of their families. I want to repeat here today that the family is an important ingredient in your life. When things don't go the way you want, when life becomes a bit difficult, when the world seems to be tilting in a different direction, when everybody else looks at the other side, the family will always be there for you. I therefore want to take this opportunity to echo what our CSR said, to thank the families of our officers for the moral support and encouragement to your spouses. This work of uniformed officers require a lot of support. I was an officer in uniform many years ago, and I know the role the family plays in making your work easier and being there for you. So the families who are here today and in the rest of the country, we want to thank you for supporting the officers that we have in the various services. Likewise, I want to ask our officers to also take care of your families. And on a lighter note, from experience, don't transfer your command to your house. It will not work. It will just create your problems. When I was a young officer, and for 14 years, and I was all over the country, and I would come on Friday to see my family. But those 2 days are not enough. So when I took early retirement and came back home, I found a lot of problems because I was still trying to run the home the way I was running my command, and there was a lot of resistance. So if you are an officer commanding police station, please, when you go home, be a good father and a good husband, for that matter. Don't try to run your place like a police station, because there will be resistance. Just leave your command outside your doorstep and become a good parent. Because when I came, I was trying to give orders. I want things done in a certain way. And my wife, Pastor Dorcas, was just looking at me and saying, this guy, what's wrong with him? He has been away for so long. We have been doing things here in a certain way, and he wants to order everybody around. And it is not good for the family. So when you come back home, leave the command outside and become a good family man, and then you continue. Finally, we are proud of our officers across the country. You are doing a great job. You are patriotic. You are professional. And that is why we were getting insulted when a leader was saying that we need to invite the Scotland Yard here to come and do investigations. We have professional officers who have the capacity, the capability to work here in this country. And if we get stuck along the way and we need help from foreigners, we shall say so ourselves. I don't think there is no outsider who can advise us on our capacity and ability to do our work. I think that is a little bit meddlesome. We have very professional officers in all formations in this country. And our problems in this country will be solved locally by our Kenyan officers for the benefit of the Kenyan people, because that is the way it should be. I want to take this opportunity to urge our officers, please, as you undertake your duties, be guided by the Constitution. This is a country of the rule of law. For officers in the National Police Service, the National Police Service standing order are there to guide you. If you want, in your duties, please study and follow the Penal Code, Cap 63. Please study, internalize, follow the Criminal Procedure Code, Cap 75. Be guided by the Evidence Act, Cap 80. If you work around those 5 documents, you are good to go. This new administration discourages, from the word go, any officer to accept, to obey unlawful orders that are contrary to the Constitution, the rule of law, the National Police Standing Orders, and the various laws of Kenya that govern your work. And if you follow the law, you will be a very good officer. And if your seniors insist that you follow unlawful orders, be kind and ask them to give you something little in writing. Chances are 9 to 10, they will just abandon that matter and they will not raise it again with you. Let us follow the law. This is a country governed by the rule of law. This is a country that has respect for the Constitution. And that is why the President has indicated, and rightly so, and I re-emphasize, that this government will not accept, under any circumstances, extrajudicial killings. His grace has blessed the tools of trade here. Those tools of trade that have gotten his blessings here are for protecting life and property. We cannot turn those tools to harm the very people they are supposed to protect. So let us be professional. Let us respect the Constitution. Let us uphold the rule of law. Let us work in accordance with the National Police standing orders, and this will be a good country. Finally, I am aware that all of you in the disciplined services listened to us during the campaign, and most of you followed the unveiling of our manifesto. We did say that within 100 days, we will roll out a task force to review the terms and conditions of your service with a view of looking at your salaries and allowances, with the views of looking at housing and other aspects that will dignify your work and your families. I'm aware a few officers are impatient. The day before yesterday, I was going somewhere, and I met an officer as I was passing, and he looked a little bit not himself. I think he had taken something, but surely it was not tea or water. And he asked me, wewe Rigiji, si mlisema ndani ya siku 100 mtaleta kamati ya kuangalia mishahara yetu? I want to tell you, please, msituharakishe. Don't count the 100 days from the day we were elected, the 9th of August. Start counting from 13th of September when President William Ruto was sworn in. Those days have not expired. They'll expire on the 24th of December. In the next 2 weeks, President William Ruto will unveil a task force to review your terms of service and condition. And that task force will follow the bottom-up approach. It will start listening to the constables. Then it will listen to the corporals. Then the sergeants, the senior sergeant, the inspector, all the way to the Inspector General of Police. The same will happen in the prison service. The same will happen in all the other disciplined services that we have. Once we are through listening to the officers, you must allow us also to listen to the people of Kenya. They also have certain things they want you to do differently. We'll also listen to the people of Kenya, so that at the end of it all, we have recommendations of what is good for our officers, to uphold their dignity, to pay them well, to give them decent accommodation, and to allow them to work professionally. At the same time, we'll get the police to follow the recommendations given by the people of Kenya of their expectations of how you should work, because they are the taxpayers and they have a say. So once that task force has been rolled out, I want to urge our officers across the country, avail yourself to give your views, and we'll make arrangements that the team comes across all the counties to listen to your views. But I'm sure at the end of it all, we'll get good recommendations, and we shall be able to look afresh on your terms so that we pay you well, we get you the necessary allowances, we look at your insurance, we look at the risk allowance, we look at your uniform, we look at all those aspects that have been disturbing our officers. And admittedly, CS, we have had serious challenges across the country of increased incidents of suicide among our officers because of the problems that are there in the service. Because for the last 10 years, nobody has ever looked at the welfare of these officers. And because of the pressure of work and the cost of living, we have had very unfortunate incidents among our officers, and the government is well appraised of that situation, and that should be addressed as we go on. So mimi nimeshukuru sana. I want to say thank you very much. Continue doing the good job you are doing. We are behind you. We'll give you the necessary support. The Commander-in-Chief is up and running. He is a very active president. He'll be all over the country. And when you see him, also say jambo. And if there are issues, raise them with him directly. Hii ni serikali ya watu ya hapa chini. Hakuna uoga mingi. If you come across the president, you have an issue, there is no problem. You raise it with him and it will be taken in good spirit. For our DIG, Bogwa, I've heard what you have said. We want on behalf of government to thank you for patriotic and exemplary service to the police force for so many years. We want to thank you. You have really served this country with honor and distinction. You are a senior citizen, and when your time comes, you will be accorded the due dignity and respect that is commensurate to the service you have given to the police service and to the people of Kenya. Asanteni sana na Mungu awabariki. Thank you very much.